Welcome back, French fries, to another crispy episode of WHATAHOCKey brought to you by the Hockey Podcast Network and proudly sponsored by DraftKings. As always, use promo code THPN on the DraftKings app to get in on all of the action today. And make sure to share WHATAHOCKey with all your friends, your family, your neighbors, your enemies, your wives, your cousins, your dads, your moms, on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, and a little bit of LinkedIn. We may sound a little run down from this weekend, which we'll dive into here in just a moment, but we've got a huge returning guest. The continuity of the WHATAHOCKey podcast are starting to come together, so we're getting to really dive into some of these stories with friends that we've made of guests on the show. But first and foremost, I want to kick it over to the boys, see how their weekends were, starting off with Patrick. Patrick, you and I hung out last night, but how was the rest of your weekend, sir?
It was fun, man. Drove out to Waxahachie for a wedding. One of my buddies from high school got married, so that was a lot of fun. I drank a little too much, but,
Oof.
It's a wedding. That's how it goes.
It's true.
It's what you're supposed to do.
Mm-hmm,
right.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, last night we're recording this a little different on a Sunday, so last night being Saturday, it was fun. Got to hang out with Garrett and Jason's parents. Not you, Jason. Other Jason.
JP. My fairy bar parents, as I call them.
Yeah. And then I've pretty much done nothing but watch football today. And we chatted with our guest. I don't know if you mentioned who it was.
I have not, but we can go ahead and mention it. It's a returning friend, Les Lancaster, formerly of the Allen Americans. We had him on with Josh Lamon quite a while ago now. It's kind of wild to think about. But he is over in Finland now in their top league. So we will be chatting with him here shortly.
Is he in Finland, though? Because
I think so.
Does Finland exist?
I hope so. Is that a drop that I don't know about?
No, it's there's a conspiracy theory that the area known as Finland does not actually exist at all. It's just
We need
empty.
to look into this.
It's just empty fishing space between Sweden and whatever the eastern country is. Yeah, that the Russians agreed to call a country, if I remember correctly, so that they could control populated fishing waters there. Look it up. It's wild. It's obviously not real at all,
right.
but
you're absolutely right. There are hundreds of thousands of stories on is Finland real? Does Finland exist?
Yeah.
Many don't think so.
Yeah.
But
it's wild.
We can confirm that Les is in a space known as Finland. And he seems to be doing extremely well, which you guys will hear about. Finland.
Air quotes.
Big time air quotes. And we'll dive into a little bit more about the weekend, too, before we kick it over to the interview. Jason, you got to hang out with the kiddo yesterday. How was that?
Dude, that was awesome. I could hang out most days, but Mom had a gal's night out with a buddy, and so I was like, all right, well, you guys go watch your scary movies, and I'll take care of the kiddo, make him dinner and everything. So anyways, we just went to Chick-fil-A and then took it over to left field and watched airplanes take off and land. It was pretty cool for like all of 20 minutes. And then he was just over it.
He was like that.
But it was fun for the 20 minutes that he did it.
Hey, that's all that matters. All that matters.
Tire him out.
And did you guys get to watch any of the well, Patrick, you were at a wedding, you said. Jason, did you get to catch any of the Stars game on Friday?
I did. Well, Friday.
Yes. Friday
as
evening.
Much as I could.
Yes.
Before I had my own game.
Faithful to the pylons. I might be doing a healthy scratch for this upcoming Friday for the Le Pylons heading to the game. I hate to break it to the boys, but I already said no. But that being said, speaking of Garrett, as always, make sure to head over to TexasHockeyApparel.com. We have got some awesome retro shirts thanks to Garrett. Mine and Jason's may have a little chocolate stain on them. That is another story for another day, but we'll have to go into that off the air. But make sure to head over to TexasHockeyApparel.com, follow him on all their socials. He is a prominent figure at the Credit Union of Texas Arena in Allen. And we will have our presidential address here in just a moment with
Credit
Mike
Union of
Waddell.
North Texas Arena.
What is it?
Credit Union of North Texas Arena.
I can't. I'm still getting used to it. It's such a mouthful to go from Allen Event Center to Credit Union of North Texas.
No, it's just Credit Union, Texas.
Oh, okay.
You don't want to just
think
acronym
of
Credit
the
Union.
Oh,
there.
yeah. Okay. You guys are listening to this. We are, like I said, Patrick said we're recording on Sunday night. I was very fortunate to go to both of the home openers for the Stars and the Americans back to back. That's why my voice sounds a little crispy. That's why my brain's moving super, super slow. That being said, we're about to kick it over to Mike to have the presidential address for the week to see what's going on with him. The Americans were able to squeeze out a win and get a 1-1 on this weekend homestand that continues into next week. But yeah, I mean, the game was amazing on Friday. The Stars pulled out another win in OT per usual. That's their modus operandi. For some reason, they want to play in overtime. You can also play in overtime with Sauce Toss. If you ever heard of saucetoss.com, type in code WHATAHOCKEY for a tasty little discount. Holidays are right around the corner. And now is the time to use these discounts that we've got for you guys. But yeah, before we kick it over to Mike for the presidential address, Patrick, tell me a little bit. No, that's I'm. It's like we synced up, and I needed you to say something.
So I have two things. The first is a quick question related to the Stars.
Okay.
How many overtime games did we win last year?
We won 6. I actually did an article earlier today with the morning skate. We went 6-14 in overtime games.
Okay, so we're halfway there.
We're halfway there. We're living on a prayer. I cannot mentally do this again. What scares me the most? Yeah. Well, what scares me the most is the fact that the team has 3 wins. The Stars record is 3-2 right now, and all of those wins have come in overtime. That worries me because this team has to have some finish in regular time. So it is a little scary. Cat's out of the bag.
It's going to be a stressful season.
Yeah, absolutely. Cat's out of the bag. The Stars are an OT-loving team. Speaking of bags, now that I can say before we actually kick it over to Mike, Jason, tell me a little bit about your bags.
My bags?
Is that a euphemism?
Well, just like
my bags
are
great.
Like,
especially because they're from ConwayandBanks.com. The great people over at Conway and Banks, they make quality bags that are built to last. They include removable organizers that keep all your stuff organized, and they keep everything dry with those waterproof materials and those giant vents on the sides. I'm not gonna lie, I haven't taken my gear out of my bag in like 3 weeks. But all I gotta do is just open it up, and it's got all those vents in it, so it just doesn't get my shit all moldy and smelly. So my personal favorite feature, though, is that built-in foot mat that keeps my feet dry in those nasty locker rooms. They come in 3 different sizes and colors, so you'll be sure to find one that you love. They come in lamp red, the navy, and then the classic all black. It's beautiful. So go get yourself one by using the code WHATAHOCKEY15 and get 15% off your order. And go check out that link in all of our bios and go get your bag from ConwayandBanks.com. And get your gear to the rink in style. You guys get style points for that.
Yeah, absolutely. You do. Right on the way. Well, we're going to go ahead and kick it over to Mike for the presidential address, and we'll be back with you guys in just a moment to send it over to Les Lancaster. All right, we are back for the second episode of the presidential address with Mike Waddell of the Allen Americans, coming off really just a massive weekend. First and foremost, we talked a little bit more on the podcast before we jumped on, but want to express our gratitude for welcoming us into the Allen Americans family. For those that have not been to the Credit Union of Texas Arena in Allen, the powers that be allowed us into their home, and we now have a WHATAHOCKEY dasher board. So first and foremost, thank you for welcoming us into the family. Very surreal moment to show up to the arena on Saturday night for the home opener, season opener. So thank you from WHATAHOCKEY to Mike and the Allen Americans.
Hey, it's great to have you as part of the family, Jeff, and want to give a shout out to our partner, Aaron Marsh in Car Rap City, also My Labs Direct. They do all of our dasher boards here in the Credit Union of Texas Event Center, and it was a sight to be seen. Great crowd in here on Saturday night for the opening game of season 13. We have ticket records going back to the 2013-14 season, and it was the best opening night crowd that we've had during that span, and that includes a lot of championship seasons, including the 15 and the 16 season openers when we would go on to win our third and fourth consecutive championship. So Johnny Midra and his staff are doing an outstanding job and pushing the ticket sales right now. And Alyssa Schmidt and her group are doing a great job with marketing. And then putting it all together is Casey Rusnak, who does an outstanding job with our game day presentation. And he was playing with a lot of new toys here in the event center this year, because we have brand new video boards and LED lighting, a sound system, and ribbon boards. And that was still being tinkered with a little bit on the setup with the contractors going right up into the last day of the game. But, everything came off great. And I think everybody who came out here to the Village at Allen, to the Rink of Red, as we call it now, really saw a first-class presentation, and didn't get the on-ice result that we wanted on Saturday, but we came back really strong on Sunday, and that's one thing that you can always count on with a Steve Martinson coach team and with captains like Spencer Eschuk and also Chad Costello. I mean, it is just a really good group of guys, and it's a long season. We play 72 games.
Yeah, I was very fortunate to be there for the home opener opening night on Saturday, and the Rink of Red, as you called it, was one of the coolest things. And I've been to quite a few arenas, and I've had some pretty amazing experiences. But being that close and that personal up to that rink when it went into that deep red color was just a really cool experience. The video boards look crisp and clean. The sound system you could tell a massive difference in the sound system. And I believe you guys got a new ice guy. You could just see the differences was literally top to bottom, and it looked fantastic. But like you were saying, opening night didn't go the way that the fans might have wanted it. But this is a wily veteran style of team. So you've got guys like Chad Costello, who made his return to Allen on Saturday night for the first time in quite a while. I know there were rumors swirling about him coming back for months and months leading up to the season. You were saying the app. We talked about it last week. How do you feel like the fans kind of accepted that? I know there were quite a few phones up and out during the intermission. So how do you feel like it went off with the new app for the Allen Americans?
They were doing a great job in the intermissions. But really, all throughout the night, fans can check rosters, they can check stats, they can take part in promotions with Katie Floyd when she's out there as our in-game host. I mean, it's a truly interactive experience. It's more than just the light show that we do at the beginning of the game. And we'll be adding things throughout the season. Also, the 50-50 raffle will be controlled in a lot of ways through this app, and that's still being tinkered with right now, again, because of some fun things that we have planned that we'll add on midway and maybe even a little bit earlier this season. But you don't want to bring everything out at the beginning. You want to keep it fresh, and we'll be tinkering with that. But could not be prouder of our staff, and really excited to see the remainder of our 34 home games starting coming up this week with our only matchup at home this year against Utah. And Jeff, as you think about last year during our COVID season, we really only played the same teams again and again and again. And so it's kind of odd to only have the opportunity to see the Grizzlies come in. They came in, of course, in the playoffs last year for the first round, and they'll be in here for our second homestand on October 30th and 31st.
Yeah, make sure to grab your tickets at allamericans.com. They've got all the links there for you signed up, and make sure to download that app. Yeah, it'll be really interesting to have the Grizzlies back in town. For those that, the Americans fans and the Americans faithful, they have long-term memories. So I'm sure they remember that first round with the boys getting up on the glass when they clinched the series with the watch party over there in Richardson. Really looking forward to that series. Let's talk real quick before we let you go. You guys were able to roll out the blue jerseys, and we actually got to see them for both home games this weekend, which I think was a pretty fun treat for everyone at the Credit Union of Texas Event Center.
Not exactly as planned, but unfortunately, we're having a lot of teams in the ECHL. Wichita only had one jersey that had been shipped to them so far, and luckily that was the white. But for us, we had the blues. We didn't have our reds or our whites in town for the game. Just some challenges right now with Athletic Knit. Now, those jerseys are approved back in the first quarter, so in that January, February, March area, but they weren't able to be shipped to us in time. They're actually in Fort Worth, and they've been there since last Thursday. But if you show up at a sorting facility of a major shipping company, they tend to not just let you in there. They have to do everything by the book. So we didn't have a chance to get those, even though Kevin Sykes Gilbert from our operations and finance area was over there trying to navigate that chrysalis of shipping. But hey, it just didn't come through for us. But we got a chance to see the Blues and the team shop, which is really doing well this year. We have lots of great merchandise in there, some Texas hockey apparel things from our new partners at THA, but they sold through all of the Blue jerseys. So we're already trying to order some more things in here. And coming up this weekend, we have a pair of what we hope will be, we're still waiting on the shipment too, but we have a Halloween jersey, and it's going to be really cool. I think people are really going to like that. And then we also have a Legacy Night jersey, which is a throwback jersey back to the days when we were winning championships back in the CHL. So I think fans will really enjoy coming out. We have some fun things that we'll announce later in the week to get people excited, and just glad to be having hockey again, 100% capacity here at the Credit Union of Texas Event Center.
Yeah, well, Mike, I want to say once again, thank you again for accepting us into your family, the opportunity to have our logo on the dasher boards. Make sure, again, just check out AlanAmericans.com to get those tickets for this weekend as they take on the Utah Grizzlies at the Credit Union of Texas Event Center on October 30th and 31st. Maybe throw a costume on. I want to see someone dressed up as Mike Waddell for Halloween this weekend.
No, we're good. We're good.
But yeah, make sure to stay tuned to all the socials, and us at WHATAHOCKey will be happy to share those with all of the Allen Americans fans, and we'll let you guys know what they have up their sleeves for this weekend. But Mike, thank you again for your time, and we'll be back here again next week.
Live in the red.
What's up, WHATAHOCKey fans? If you're an NFL fan, you hungry for a big win this week, DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL, has you covered. New customers can bet just $5 on any NFL team to win their game, and if they do, you win $200 in free bets. Winner, winner, chicken dinner. That's a famous Vegas phrase if you've never been. It's that simple. If Sportsbook isn't available in your state yet, DraftKings won't leave you empty-handed. Everyone can play for huge cash prizes all season long with DraftKings daily fantasy sports contests. DraftKings giving all new customers a free shot at millions of dollars in total prizes with their first deposits. It's super easy. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now, use promo code THPN, bet just $5 on any NFL team to win their game and win $200 in free bets. If they win, you win with promo code THPN this week at DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. Must be 21 or older, New Jersey, Indiana, or Pennsylvania only. New customers only. $5 deposit minimum and $1 wager required, one per customer. Restrictions apply. See DraftKings.com/sportsbook for details. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. And now back to the show.
And again, thanks to Mike and the Allen Americans for what they've been doing for us.
Mike.
It's if you guys are headed to the Credit Union of Texas arena, okay. I'm getting chirped by Siri over here. If you guys are heading to the Credit Union of Texas arena, make sure to take a look on the dasher boards, because we have officially got our first ad at the Credit Union of Texas arena. Thanks to the Americans for putting us out there for people to kind of get some exposure to the podcast that hasn't seen us or hasn't heard of us before. We greatly appreciate it. So, but without further ado, we're going to kick it over to Les Lancaster, and he's going to tell you all about the land known as Finland, if it exists. Up next is a familiar name to North Texas hockey fans. Last time we had this guy on, he was with the Allen Americans alongside his bestie for the resty, Josh Lamon, where he would lead the team to the second round of the Kelly Cup playoffs and be named the ECHL's Defenseman of the Year. Should have been the MVP, but that's a discussion for another day. He now dons the gold bucket for Elvis in the top Finnish league known as Liga. Welcome back to the podcast, Les Lancaster. How are you, bud?
Fellas, boys, it's always a pleasure to chat with you guys. You know that.
We were just so excited to get you back on the podcast. I know the time difference is pretty brutal, and you're probably acclimated to the Finnish time. But first and foremost, how have you been? How has the transition been? And tell us a little bit about your journey over to Finland.
I've been good, man. It's been quite the adjustment. Since last season. It was kind of a short off season. Our season ended late part of June. I don't even know the date. Maybe like June 25th, 26th, or something like that. And I had to report into Finland July 28th. So I only had about 4 weeks home. So it was a pretty short off season for me.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it was tough.
Turnaround.
It was, yeah. So it was, I took a lot of time at home, and I didn't really do too much. Didn't really work out. Didn't really skate. And the coaches and GM over here, they kind of supported me in that decision. They didn't really want me to do too much while I was home, and finally made the transition out here. And it was good. It was definitely tough at first.
Yeah.
Especially with the time difference. It's a 7-hour time difference from back home, and 8-hour time difference from you guys in the Dallas area and whatnot. But no, it's been good, man. I think that was probably like the toughest part for me was the time change at first, trying to get here and sleep and whatnot. And it was, I don't know, it was weird. It was my first time in Europe, so I didn't really know what to expect. The 8-hour flight over, typically leaving. I think I left Chicago at like 8:30 at night, and I arrived Helsinki at 2:30 p.m. So it was just, it was just like a weird, kind of a weird feeling, and then kind of, just got adjusted day by day. But, man, it's been, it's definitely interesting, compared to Dallas or
Allen, Texas.
Yeah, Allen, Texas, or even Detroit, just being home and whatnot. And, it's a culture shock a little bit, but so far I'm loving it.
Yeah, and it's interesting. So take us back to the end of last season. Obviously, you guys get bumped in the second round, which we don't need to go into as far as that's concerning. But what was the decision process like for you? For those that are listening, a lot of people fail to realize that, hockey is a sport. It's a passion. People love it. But when you get to the level that you play at, it's a business first. And you've got to do what's best for Les Lancaster and the namesake. So what was that decision like to ultimately say, okay, my time has come with the ECHL. I'm ready to move on to bigger things, and I think I'm going to take my talents overseas, like LeBron James-esque.
Yeah, I mean, I think obviously last year for me was a really good year. Probably my best year of hockey that I've ever had, and just with the
MVP caliber, by the way, MVP caliber.
We thought you were jobbed.
Yeah, well, again, another day.
Hey, that's okay. That's okay. I appreciate the loyal fan base and Alan. So
yeah.
I just kind of like thinking to myself, like, what more could I do in the ECHL, than I did last year? I played really well. Obviously had a lot of points, a lot of goals. D of the year, was in the MVP talk as well, and I just didn't think that there was really another step for me to take in that league. Like you said, this is a business for us. At the end of the day, it is our job. And, you got to kind of, I think as a pro hockey player too, everybody wants to play in the NHL someday. And,
right.
For me, I just have to take those steps in my career to progress, to get me to that next level and potentially play in the NHL someday. And I think going overseas was just that next step in my career. I had some talks and some interest to stay in North America, play in the AHL, but especially after last season, not really getting a call up or anything like that. I think I was just kind of frustrated, with the AHL. So I decided to come over to Europe, and, I'm really happy with that decision. I really think the the style of play really suits my game. Being a little bit smaller, but a really good skater. I think it really helps over here on the big ice, and the organization and the coaches so far have allowed me to play my game no problem. And so far I'm really enjoying myself.
Well, that's great to hear, and that kind of leads me into the next question I had lined up for you. What is the transition of play for you, and how long did it kind of take you to get acclimated to the Finnish style or European style rather play, or was it pretty seamless? Because like you said, you kind of have the architects of like almost like a John Klingberg or essentially offensive defenseman.
Right. Well, at first it was tough because, like I said, I didn't do too much in the off season. So when I first got here, to camp, and because the European hockey, it starts a little bit sooner here than it does in North America. We've already played 15 games into our season,
right,
where the ECHL is just starting out. So, things kind of happen fast. So everybody here was already working out, skating. I was one of the last guys to arrive here. But again, my GM and coaches understood that. So it took me a few weeks to really get acclimated over here. And, like I said, with sleep, even just little things like going to the grocery store, finding food, where to eat, stuff like that. It was just kind of tough, for me personally. And, everything at the ice was like, or everything at the arena was, the easiest part of my day. So it was, it took me a few weeks. A couple preseason games were definitely helpful. I think we played 5 or 6. I played in 4 of them. And I think I just kind of got better with each game. I think the main thing for me is I wanted to bring that same confidence over that I had from last year. And, I really think I've done that, and just be able to come over here and be like, I can play with these guys. I can play with anybody if I just play my game and skate the way I can skate. And, so far I've been doing that. It's definitely a little bit more physical than I would have thought. I think the East Coast did a really good job of preparing me for that over here.
Yeah.
A lot of people say like the European style is a little bit more finesse and skill and not so much hitting, but I would disagree with that. It's pretty physical over here.
Yeah, the translation must not have come through in English. On
the right. Yeah, they forgot that in the memo.
Right, but before I kick it over to Patrick, for those that are listening, you're wearing the gold helmet right now, which means you lead the team in points. So obviously that transition has become kind of seamless for you now as you continue to kind of go off the hot season you had last year.
Yeah, I've gotten off to a really good start. Like I said, I think I just had that confidence from last year come over into this season, and I got off to a really good start. This season. As it's weird. I don't think I'm doing anything different. Just the puck's kind of just finding its way in the net. Although I don't really like wearing the gold helmet too much. I
was gonna ask.
I would say
you got the Vegas Golden lights going on.
Yeah, as a defenseman, whenever the puck is chipped into my corner, they always make sure to finish their check on me. But it's a huge honor though. It's a pretty cool thing to experience over here. They're passionate about their hockey, which is very cool to see. It kind of brings me back to my college days of having those, crazy fans.
Oh yeah, I bet. But it's cool to see. It's awesome to keep up with over here for sure.
So you mentioned things like going to the grocery store, different time zone, all that. What do you miss most about Texas and just being home in general? Any places in Finland that kind of give you a little homesick twinge?
The one thing I miss the most is English. Man, I'm telling you, man, it's, Finnish is such a hard language. It's, we have a bunch of Swedes on our team, and, their language is supposed to be pretty similar, I believe, but even the Swedish people on our team don't understand Finnish. I guess it's just a language that is so hard to learn. And there are a lot of people that do speak English. It's a lot of broken English though, so it's not perfect. But Finnish is just so hard that everything is in Finnish. So I walk around the grocery store with my phone and Google Translate and the camera, just to see which what is what. So it's that's definitely the thing I miss the most. Even just like going down or like to the mall, like. Hey, do you have like a size 10 in this shoe? And, you know, just being able to have like those little conversations with people, you know, it's tough. You know, a lot of finger pointing and a lot of awkward staring at each other until, you know, until something's figured out. But no, it's, you know, I don't know. The city I'm in is one of the biggest in Finland, actually. And I live right in the city, right downtown. So I really am in a great spot. And, you know, the food here is actually really good, really, really good. It's, you know, it's pretty, you know, it really does feel like home. It doesn't feel too much different in that aspect now that I've kind of settled in and whatnot. Like, you know, obviously there's some things that are different here and there, but you know, I love the city I'm in. I really do. And it's, you know, it's not too big like Helsinki. They said Helsinki is terrible. You know, it can take you 2 hours to get from the north end of the city to the south end, you know, during rush hour, you know, stuff like that. They said it's very overpopulated. So no, so far, you know, it's been going good, man. Like I know I keep saying, yeah, I'm enjoying it over here and it's going good, but you know, that's just, it's the truth. I really am, having a good time.
Well, I mean, you're
awesome.
You're essentially living out a dream. I mean, it's awesome to see, you know, friends like succeed in that way. But you've got another guy on the team too that I'm curious about that used to call Texas home. Nick Baptiste.
Oh yeah,
used to play for the Texas Stars in the AHL. Have you and him connected at all, or are there any other teammates that you've kind of leaned on a little bit to become more comfortable over there?
Oh yeah, well, we definitely have leaned on each other because we're the only 2 North Americans on the team. You know, so I think just kind of day one when he came over, you know, we kind of gravitated towards one another because we were the only ones that spoke perfect English. So, you know, yeah, we've become really good friends. You know, we sit next to each other in the locker room, you know, stalls by one another. You know, we spend a lot of time together. I'm actually going to go over to his place tonight after I get done with you guys, order some dinner, watch some American football, you know, hang out and whatnot. I had lunch with him earlier today. So no, we've become really good friends. I knew of him when I was growing up, you know, because we're the same age. So we've played against each other a little bit in some youth tournaments, but no, he's a really good guy. And I know he misses Texas a little bit too. That's for sure.
Yeah, and that's it's crazy to think about. When we started this podcast, obviously the focus was, you know, North Texas hockey or Texas hockey, and just I don't think people understand how big it's gotten here in the States, where you guys literally grew up completely separated from each other, and you know, having that connection now is just kind of awesome to roll back to. But like we said before, you got the gold bucket. You're leading the points is it Elvis, right? I'm saying it right.
Yep, Elvis. Yep.
Typing that for those here in America, it's so weird to type because it's just, it looks IIL. It's
LLV.
Yeah. But how are you feeling? Your game has evolved since you've landed in Finland, and when should we expect the Lancaster jerseys to start popping up for an NHL franchise?
Oh man, you know, it's who knows, you know. I just got to worry about this year, really. That's, you know, that's the main thing. You know, it's my game over here. It's definitely gotten a little bit better. You know, playing with really good players every single day. I mean, we have we have the leading point scorer from last year on our team, another top 5 forward from last year on our team, a bunch of young guys, probably a couple that will make World Juniors this year. You know, so it's just really good competition, and then, you know, playing every single night against you know, other guys that have played World Juniors, or some guys in the KHL or NHL, or multiple years in the AHL even. You know, it's a high level of hockey here, and you know, practicing every day with those guys, you know, it's just ultimately going to make your own game better too. And I've just built a lot of good relationships over here as well. I think you know, being an American, you are kind of an outcast at first, but especially with our team and our organization, they've done a really good job of bringing us all together. And man, it's just I really do. I love this organization, and I love being a part of this team. It's made the transition over here just flawless. And it truly is just probably one of like the best years of hockey that I've had so far.
That's awesome. And what's it like, not in the locker room, but like maybe in the training room? Because you're going essentially from an ECHL team, and not to talk down on them at all, but Elvis is a legit organization. And for those that are listening, it's not just hockey. They have a soccer team, like field hockey. They've got multiple sports. So what's it like having that training room? Because I'm sure it's probably decked out from floor to ceiling with just state of the art equipment and things like that.
Well, it's funny you say that, actually, because we're in a pretty unique year here. So the arena that we're playing in right now is actually the oldest in Finland. I believe it was the first hockey rink that was ever built in Finland. And actually, there's 2 teams in my city, so we have a pretty big rivalry with each other. But we share the same arena, so we both play out of that same arena. And with our team, our first year, I believe, was 1931. And, so there's a lot of history there. And our last championship was 1985. So, we have a very passionate, loyal fan base. And, they're pretty rowdy with, and they'll let we were losing 4 games. We were losing 4 games in a row earlier in the season. They wanted our coach fired. They wanted players, traded, saying this was unacceptable. We don't want to pay for this, especially like this. Getting back to my point, this year is the last season in this old arena before we move to our new arena in December. So we actually only have, I think, 6 more home games left before we move into our new arena, which is coming in December. And I think it's supposed to be the best arena in all of Europe.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
it's
awesome.
supposed to hold, I think, like 15,000, state of the art. I mean, from everything I've seen or heard, it's absolutely crazy.
So I can assume the team is itching. And is the other team gonna move over with you guys as well?
Yep.
Or are they gonna...
Yep. Correct. Yeah. So both teams will be moving over. But in our current arena right now, Hakametsä, the oldest one in Finland, it's there's just so much history in our locker room. They have a picture of every single Elvis team from 1931. When it was black and white, wearing sweaters. It's just, for me, like, it's so cool to like be able to come over here and see like the history of the Finnish Hockey League, and specifically our team, even just on the walls. Our equipment manager, he's been here, I think, for 60 some years now. I mean, he's
didn't they do like a huge tribute to him recently? I saw social media and they changed all their pictures to him.
He just got inducted to be an Elvis legend, so now he's officially an Elvis hockey legend.
That's so cool. Yeah, and I think people fail to realize how long, obviously over here in the States we see the NHL as the end all be all. But there are so many leagues outside of North America that have just a huge history, franchises like Elvis, and then you look at the KHL. So it's cool to see that, they respect their history like they do.
Oh yeah. I mean, especially for me, it's cool to see, because before coming here, I really didn't know anything about the Finnish league. I knew it was obviously a really good hockey league. I knew nothing about Elvis. Even when I signed, I just knew little bits and pieces. But coming over here and learning about the team and the organization and the fans, just the history of everything, it's been pretty cool. Especially and being a part of this season, it's pretty historic. Especially with COVID last year, because there weren't any fans in the building. And then this being the last season in Hakametsä and transitioning into the new arena, it's just kind of cool seeing everything being pieced together.
Yeah, you're getting kind of best of both worlds.
Exactly.
How does the locker room set up when y'all play each other work? Is it whoever's the home team takes the nicer locker room? And
so we actually, in the bottom, like our, I guess on the arena level, they're on one side of the arena and we're on the other side. So, we kind of walk in the same doors and whatnot, but, you turn left to go to their side and you turn right to go to our side. And, they're orange and blue, we're green and yellow. And it's almost like a perfectly divided line. Even the logos on the ice. So, when we play each other in normal arenas, there's like a home bench and an away bench. For Elvis and Tapata, like they'll always have that same side of the arena, and we'll always have that same side of the arena. So like on their side of the ice, they have like blue and orange stanchions. On our side, we have the green and yellow stanchions. Our logos on our side of the ice are green and yellow. There, we have like the John Deere logo on our side. Theirs, they have blue and orange logos on their side. So it's very split, and it's a very heated rivalry.
I was gonna say it's almost like the Packers and Bears. It sounds like.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and I was about to say it sounds like the Cotton Bowl, OU Texas, with the split down the middle.
Yeah. Well,
burnt orange on one side, crimson on the other.
Well, my first game actually, I actually missed our first league game because I had to fly back to the States for a family emergency, and then when I flew back to Finland, my first game actually was against them, but we were the road team. And, our fans hate their fans so much that they won't even buy tickets because they know if they buy a ticket that money goes to their organization.
Oh, my God.
Oh, yeah. It's crazy.
That's amazing.
That's an incredible level of pettiness.
Oh, it is. And so actually this Friday coming up, we play them again, and we're the home team, and it will be the last time that we're hosting them in the arena. So I think it's going to be a sold out crowd, and it's going to be pretty wild. Yeah, it's going to be exciting.
Moving away from hockey a little bit, you said you're going to go hang out with Nick and watch some American football, which to us that's kind of weird that you have to differentiate.
Oh, yeah.
Since we just call it football. Y'all have a fantasy league for the team?
We don't have one for the team. A lot of guys, I think they're into American football. I don't think that they, well, it's hard to watch too because the 1 p.m. Eastern games come on at 8 p.m. here. So it's, it's really tough. You can only watch, the first handful of games really. But normally on Monday morning, we'll roll in, to the arena, and there's about 7 or 8 of us that will kind of sit down together in the locker room and talk about fantasy football. And they know I'm a huge Lions fan, so every Monday, I come into the arena and they have to poke fun at me about how the Lions lost the day before. I can't believe they lost that way.
Can't escape it.
Yeah, it's tough being a Lions fan, but you get that every year. But yeah, they make a joke every single Monday about how we lost in historic fashion, this or that, and so
I don't want to the game. What was it, Prater that hit that kick?
I can't
remember. The 60 whatever.
It was Baltimore when they lost to Baltimore.
That's right.
Justin Tucker.
Yeah, Tucker. That's who it was. Yeah, I was playing someone in fantasy that week, and they had Tucker, and I was like, of course, like of all weeks for this guy to go and just bullseye that field goal.
Oh yeah,
but yeah. I felt the Detroit Lions pain that week.
Oh yeah. It's it is what it is, but we still cheer on all the way from over here.
DeAndre Swift's kind of carrying my running backs a little bit. He's having a great year, fantasy-wise.
Yeah, fantasy-wise, he's having a great year. But at this point, I don't know. As a Lions fan, I don't even know what to say anymore. It's just it just is what it is. But I'll still show up and watch every Sunday. Although they are playing Stafford this week, so. Who knows?
It's going to be interesting.
Who knows?
A little extra salt.
Yeah.
So I've got to ask because obviously a lot of the people that listen to this are Allen Americans fans, and they know about the bromance between you and Josh. I know you guys got to meet up, like you said, and you got to watch him play. But what's it been like, kind of going back to not playing with Josh again? Because I know you guys played together throughout college, and then ECHL happened. You guys went the separate ways. Trade happened, and you guys played again in Allen, but. So what's it been like, and how often you guys chat?
I miss him. I really do miss him. It's been good. I think we both knew eventually it was going to have to come to an end. I think we.
God, that sounds so sad.
Well, we had our real emotional goodbye last year at the end of the year party. We both kind of broke down to one another, realizing that this was the last time that we were going to play together, but. No, we remain in contact, just about every day or every other day. We try to watch each other's games as well. We're in a group chat with another one of our college buddies, and we're always texting each other, whether it's just to play Call of Duty talk to one another on there, or just kind of give updates on each other's games and how they went, how we're playing and whatnot. But no, like I said, he was playing in Champions League, and one of the teams in his division was in Finland, and it was about a 2-hour drive from where I'm at. So I made the drive to go see him and spend a little bit of time with them because I had to.
Yeah, absolutely. I commented on the picture because I saw it and I was like, they did it.
Yeah.
They did it. I love it. But so kind of jumping back over to the adjustment, have you said you earlier talking about the food, do you have a favorite food over there that's kind of local to Finland? And or do you have Finnish exclusive, and have you been able to check out many of the tourist attractions?
Well, honestly, I haven't done too many attractions just because now here it's very weird. The sun, when I first got here in like August, the sun wasn't even going down till about 11:30 at night. So it was it was sunny for almost the entire day. And now it's like reversing. So now the sun doesn't even come up till about 9:30, and then it goes down at like 4:30 or 5 p.m. And like as December rolls around, the sun's supposed to go down at like 3:30 or so.
That's nuts. I didn't even think about that.
Yeah. So it's definitely a little different in that regard. I know Finland is popular for reindeer. I haven't had it yet. I've gone to a few steakhouses with a couple of the guys, and we've tried some meats. I don't really, it's kind of like steak, I guess. I've actually tried horse meat. I guess that's pretty popular over here as well. And it was really good. I actually really enjoyed it. So I haven't tried the reindeer yet. So I'm still waiting on that one. But the city I'm in is like the wing capital of Finland.
Oh, love that.
Yeah. So actually, it's funny you say that because we have wings ordered for tonight, and that's what we're gonna go eat some wings and watch some football.
Nice.
That's on the docket for tonight. But no, other than that, I try to do a lot of cooking. I kind of have a particular appetite, so I gotta.
That's fair.
Yeah, I gotta make sure I know what I'm putting in my body.
For sure. Have you made the brave trek to any of the local McDonald's to see if they've got any different cuisine? I know like McDonald's around the world have just like insanely different menus.
Oh yeah, so I've actually gone to the McDonald's a few times, and they have like a vegan burger. They have like a veggie burger. One thing I have noticed over here is they love their mayo. So almost everything.
Yes.
Everything is like a barbecue mayo, like a garlic mayo, a mustard mayo. Like everything is something with mayo. It's very interesting. But there are a few different McDonald's menu items, but I stick to just my chicken nuggets and Big Mac burger.
The tried and true. Yeah, I was gonna say I get chirped a lot over here because I love mayonnaise, and so like I know overseas, it's like their ketchup. So they'll dip their fries in it, they'll dip their nuggets in it. Like it's the condiment of the year for them.
Oh yeah. There's actually a garlic mayo that I love that I get that every single time.
I love it. That's great. We just got to get Whataburger over there.
Hey,
I mean,
even better.
I know it's no In-N-Out for you guys, but
I think you triggered me a little bit with the McDonald's reference, though, after last night.
I won
the McDonald's last night.
The one thing that we win with a namesake like WHATAHOCKey is the McDonald's, however many Big Mac coupons it is. I wonder if we could send that to Les. I wonder if it translates to Finnish McDonald's. Well, let me ask, do you have any messages for the Americans fans? I know you guys got to do an end of year party and you got to talk to a lot of the season ticket holders, but do you have any messages for them as far as like your time in Allen? Because it's a unique area. Hockey in North Texas is booming, but it's almost kind of like playing in Finland for a lot of guys because you don't associate hockey with Texas.
Right. No, it's Josh and I had this conversation as well, and I've been talking to Ben Carroll, Phil Blue, Jordan Duton, Tim Abbott. I've still been in contact with all those guys. I mean, I'll forever love my time in Allen. I loved living there. I loved playing there. It truly is one of the best, if not the best place to play in the ECHL. You know, that's my opinion. I love Marty. Yeah, I really do love the city of Allen, and you know, the 2 years I got to spend there, I'm forever grateful for. You know, some of the best fans as well, and you know, I'm definitely gonna miss, you know, the weather, the rink, you know, everything about it, and unfortunately, you know, I gotta be a little selfish and take those steps in my career to keep on moving up, but you know, I'll definitely miss my time there.
Yeah, and I'm sure you miss the ability to walk out of the rink in December and go play a round of golf because the weather allows it.
Oh, absolutely.
Which leads me to the next question, because we never got to do the WHATAHOCKey Invitational. But did the clubs make the trip over to Finland?
The clubs unfortunately did not make the trip.
Oh no!
I'm a little upset with myself. I didn't want to pack too much.
Yeah.
And I was like, you know, the golf clubs just might be a little much, and I kind of regret that decision because I know I had a lot of time to play at the beginning of the year. Like I said, when the sun was up till 11:30 at night, you know, I wasn't aware of the situation at hand, and I'm actually trying to plan a Scotland trip at the end of our season, like in April, late April, early May even. So there's some promise that while I'm over here, I'll still get to play some golf, but if not, we'll still have to do the WHATAHOCKey shootout because I'm planning a trip to Dallas to see some of the guys for when I get home and hang out. So if I make the trip, I will bring my golf clubs, and we'll have to get that on the books.
Oh, absolutely.
We'll have to go to a nice course for the occasion.
Oh, real fancy, eh? Nice.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, this little place called Top Golf. Well, it's funny you say that too, because obviously someone we haven't brought up yet, Matt Register, also is playing with Josh now in Cardiff. Have you been able to contact anybody else outside of the core group of guys you played with, and do you keep up with anyone else besides Josh?
Yeah, I saw Reggie. Like I said, when I went to go visit Josh, you know, Reggie being on the same team, I talked to him for a little bit. I've been in contact with Dyson. You know, we've sent a few messages back and forth. Corey Mackin as well. We've sent a few messages back and forth to one another. You know, for the most part, you know, that's really about it. Obviously, Spencer Aschuk. You know, that guy's on top of everything. So, you know, we've been on contact as well. And, you know, not too many guys, you know, just like the core group, like you kind of said.
Yeah.
You know, like I said, still talking to, you know, Ben Carroll and Phil and all that. You know, those are going to be really good friends for a long time. So we've been in contact a little bit more.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a bit of a culture shock yesterday. Patrick and I were fortunate enough to go to the home opener in Allen, and I think they only brought back 8 guys, which, you know, in the ECHL, you kind of adjust to it because there's so much movement. But it was a little bit of a culture shock because you saw, you know, Mitchin jerseys, Lancaster jerseys, Lamon jerseys, and you're like, damn, like it almost felt like the end of Fresh Prince of Bel-Air with Will Smith standing alone in the room.
Yeah.
You're like, where'd everybody go?
Yeah, you know, especially I think just you know, last year the depth of our team, and a lot of people left, you know, in our team. In particular to Europe. I think, you know, the number was maybe 10 or 11 guys that left.
Yeah.
I mean, that's, you know, that's pretty crazy. You know, I'm sure some guys had the options to come back to Allen or go overseas or whatever the case may be. But I mean, losing 10, 11 guys that's, you know, that's almost the entire team. Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, you got to give it up to Marty because he put together a good roster of a bunch of big, quick guys. But, you know, like we were saying before we started recording, you got to get used to the team. There's got to be some continuity. But yeah, last season was a special one for everyone involved with that organization. So it was just kind of cool to be a part of it and have some sort of, you know, input with, you know, Dutes and you and Josh and Zane and all the guys on the team. So, you know, we just appreciate the time, and we appreciate you guys always, you know, supporting us and, you know, obviously giving us the time because that's the most valuable thing. But anything you want to, you know, end it on with the, you want to say anything to the friends and family back here in the States besides go Lions, and, you know, we've got the tissues ready for you.
Yeah, I know, right? It's always a tough affair on my Sunday nights here, but no, I obviously wishing my family nothing but the best. It's tough being 7 hours time difference, or sometimes even 9 hours for my mom when she's in Denver. So it's communicating with them isn't always the easiest. I think we try and make a plan once or twice a week to kind of sit down and FaceTime. And I think today they're all getting together to do carving pumpkins or something for Halloween or whatever at one of my aunt's houses. So I plan on FaceTiming them tonight and saying hi to everybody. So no, I know they're doing well. I know they're missing me. I think they're actually coming over in the end of November for Thanksgiving to see the last the last couple games for the last couple games in our old arena, and then the first couple games in our new arena as well. So that'll be good to spend some time with them and see them, because they definitely know I miss them, no doubt.
Well, like I said, we appreciate you coming back on and chatting with us a little bit. I know a lot of the people that listen to the podcast are going to be excited to hear this one. Dudes especially, sweetheart.
Oh, I FaceTimed him the other day, man. And I was even just texting him. And, last year we had a little routine that I would do with him before every single game. He's like, man, I don't know what I'm going to do without that anymore. I was like, I'll be there in spirit. Don't you worry.
Yeah, you guys can FaceTime each other before their games. And
yeah, exactly.
Late night FaceTimes. It's not weird at all to FaceTime a grown man at 3 a.m. But but yeah, man, thank you again for coming on. And for those that are listening, Les Lancaster, check him out. How can we watch? I know we talked about it a little bit, but how can we watch Elvis hockey?
Man, that's a great question. Even my family's struggling with it. Sometimes they can get the game, sometimes they can't. But for the most part, they've been trying like onhockey.tv, and sometimes they'll have the stream of our games up. Sometimes they won't. If you talk to my parents, they're very frustrated with it, because it's about a 50-50 chance if they get the games or not. So other than that, I really don't have an answer for you, unfortunately. Maybe you guys are just going to have to make a trip out to Finland and come watch in person.
You know what? I can get that passport in the mail ASAP. Yeah,
hey, I got a nice couch, and I'll even cuddle one of you if I really have to.
There you go. There you go. You heard it. It's live recording. There's no takes backs. And it's funny you say that, because I feel like NHL fans are having the same issue watching NHL teams over here. So it's across the board. I guess the powers that be just don't want us to watch hockey. But again, thank you so much for the time. And we look forward to following your career and continuing to grow. And yeah, this is not the last time we'll chat and have you on. So we definitely look forward to the next one.
Yeah, absolutely. Always a pleasure, guys. Thanks.
And again, really want to drive this home. We're so appreciative of Les taking the time to talk to us. There is a 7-hour time difference, as he said. So getting used to and getting acclimated to that time difference, and then reaching out to us and setting this all up was awesome. We hope to have more of the guys that we've had on from the Americans that have, made the trek overseas on the show here soon, so you guys can catch up with them and see how they're doing. It'll be cool to kind of see this come full circle. I really think Les has got a great opportunity to not only do well in this league, but advance hopefully into the NHL one day. He's playing the best hockey of his life, like he said. Something else that he brought up was a little bit of Top Golf and things like that. And we should have talked about our guys over at the range. And I think I'd be remiss, haven't said that in a while, if I didn't ask Patrick to share a little bit more about the range with us before we wrap this episode up.
Man, we bring it up every week. I hope people are going to check it out, because it is a lot of fun. To get there, you just go to therangegolf.com or on Instagram if you want to get a feel for how it all works first at therange_golf. It's really simple. You go on their website, you say, I want you to come to my house next Saturday at noon, and I want you to be there for 4 hours. And that's it. They show up, they set everything up, they bring the TrackMan technology so that you can play virtual courses, you can do a long drive competition, maybe a little capture the flag with your friends. They bring the clubs if you want to use your own. Go for it. But unless you have brand new tailor-made Sim 2s, then theirs are probably better than yours. And it's really easy.
like I said, they do everything for you. All you have to do is show up, hit some balls, say thanks, and then they're on their way when time is up. So, if that sounds interesting to you, go to therangegolf.com, see their full course list, see all the games, see how it works, what stats you can track. And yeah, let them bring the range to you.
Bring the range to you. What's our favorite stat? Smash factor. Smash factor. Well, guys, this is I'm like I said, super excited to touch base with Les and really kind of chat with him. This was a little bit different of an episode, obviously, with hockey being back so back. There's a lot to talk about, so expect more from us in the future. We might throw some mini episodes at you guys here and there. I don't know, get frisky, but as you can tell, the weekend has definitely taken a toll on all of us. So let's bring it into next week. Since we're recording on a Sunday night, this is going to be the start of our week. Let's set the tone. Patrick, just let them know.
Stay sassy, and we'll have Stars Talk next week.
Absolutely.
And while you're at it, go ahead and stay moist.
Oh, and you threw the deuces up. The people can't see that, but you threw the chunk the deuce up for the South.
Stay moist, peoples.
And as always, yes, thank you. That's the first song that came in my head. And as always, don't for any reason whatsoever, even if they tell you that Finland's not real, forget your Kermit tattoos.